do it.
Good day, Brutal Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson in Salt Lake City today, and I am joined by the Duke of Spook, Mr. Motherfucker himself, Mr. Wednesday 13. How are you today, Wednesday?
I am great. It is the day after Wednesday, and I'm still here.
Where are you joining us from today?
I am at my home in Burbank, California. I'm in my spooky room with all my 80s toys and everything from Night of the Living Dead to Alf is in here.
Nice. Well, after your spooktacular special, do you still have Alf? Is he still alive?
Well, he passed away on the special, but I still have his carcass.
Oh, nice.
Over my shoulder over there is a little Alf, I think, right over there, little rock and roll puppet Alf.
Okay.
So he lives on.
So the last time I saw you was at the spooktacular special, and at that point, I'm not sure where 2021 went.
Yeah. It's been a very odd 2 years for everybody, and everybody's got their own ways of dealing with it and struggles with it. And when I last saw you was the spooktacular. That was what, 6 months into the pandemic, and so I had, we had just got off the road. That was my first time being off the road in like 18 years. So when it kind of first came, it was almost kind of like a surprise vacation, like I was like, wow, it's kind of okay having some time off. And I had some time to put the fan club thing together, which worked out amazing. And that kept me busy. And then when we did the spooktacular, that was busy. And then around January, I felt like I just kind of spun out and went, all right, what's going on? And I started seeing all of our other stuff getting canceled and all that. And it just, 2021 was just not my favorite. It was just it just felt like the longest, shortest year ever.
Exactly.
It felt like it was taking forever, and then now we're here already. So but yeah, man, it was a struggle mentally. Just, being on tour and doing this for as long as I've been doing it. Like I said, it was in 2002, I started touring, and it's been nonstop until that started at the beginning of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so so it was literally just, I've never had that much time off. And so I tried to, like a lot of bands, like, well, let's write music, and I started writing music soon as I got home. And by the time this whole thing was over, I think I wrote about 50 pieces of music or something, and I only liked about 10 songs out of it, or 10 songs made sense to me. And I found it really hard to be inspired during this time. You know what I mean? Like it's I was, and I wasn't going to force anything, but I just found it was a really difficult time to write. Even though I had all the time in the world off to write, there was no inspiration because the world's kind of shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was just so I had, like always, I had to go back to what makes me happy. When the real world's too real for me, I go into this world with all my toys and so when I started writing this new record and writing new stuff, I just again started writing about stuff that makes me happy, like Christine, the car.
Yeah.
So now we have a new song on the new record about Christine. So nice. I'm happy about this.
That's finally great. Well, fortunately for us, there is an antidote to what we had for the last 2 years, and it is called your new tour, which is the 20 years of fear.
Yeah. Whenever I was, setting this tour up, I was again going, fuck, is it going to get canceled?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating to get tours set up. We've had to postpone so much stuff. But when I started putting this idea together for this tour, I'm like, all right, so hypothetically, let's say it does happen, and I'm going to go out. What would I want to do? Would I want to go right back where I left off doing the necrophase stuff? And I went, I'm not really in that mindset anymore. And I'm like, well, fuck, it's been 20 years since the Murder Dolls came out, and 20 this year marks that.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's 20 years of, 8 Wednesday 13 records, 2 Murder Doll albums. And I'm like, and over the past 2 years, I've become really, really close with doing the fan club and reading my fans and kind of knowing what they want. And a lot of the fans like everything that I've done and they follow everything that I do, but there's just like the cult fans, they want the older sound, they want the older records and stuff. And when we're a support band trying to support a new album, you don't get to hear all those old
Yeah.
songs. So I'm like, why not go out and give everybody what they want and what they wouldn't expect, and just play something off every record, play a few songs off every record. That way everybody can say, I heard something off every fucking record.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. And right now we have like a 30 song set list, which we can't play 30 songs in a show, but we're going to try to incorporate them over time. So if you're coming to a couple of shows, you might get to hear a couple of extra songs here and there if we switch them out. But I thought it would be great to come back out and do a, just because people haven't heard music in so long. So why come out and just go, here's some new stuff you haven't heard, or just make everybody happy and play the stuff that we've all grown to love.
Yeah, I think the cool thing to me about Wednesday fans is it kind of reminds me of that quote from the movie with Rob Zombie, where he said, "There's no such thing as that passive Slayer fan, and there's no such thing as a passive Wednesday 13 fan. You're either all in or you're not at all."
Pretty much, yeah. And you can tell some fans they'll wear that on their sleeve and they look like they're a Wednesday fan, and then there's guys that don't look like Wednesday fans and they're even more.
Yeah.
So I've been really fortunate to have such a loyal fan base, and just a unique fan base. Like it's I think I understand why we incorporate such a unique fan base. Is because our music it incorporates a lot of different stuff. We definitely held to the old glam hair metal stuff, the rock and roll thing, but just doing our own spin on it. So yeah, man, I'm excited. We're finally getting back out on the road. We'll have a new record out by October. So it looks like things are kind of going back to normal-ish.
Well, I mean, and to me, the songs are only a small part of what we can expect from the set itself. I have a feeling it's not going to be like a stripped down unplugged show. We're going to see some stuff that's inappropriate for children, correct?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I always try to offend children and anybody that shouldn't be in the building, that they will go back and tell people, I can't believe I saw that. So yeah, I mean, honestly, we're still kind of, I mean, I don't have everything worked out. Like, basically we've just got a whole list of songs, and we're getting together this weekend. We're going to go through those and see what they sound like. I have ideas for what I want to do throughout the set. But I just thought it'd be kind of cool to so like in the past, if I was doing, like when we were doing the Necrophase thing, and I would go change and become the worm guy and do that kind of stuff. I thought it would be cool on this tour. So every time we go into another record, I can kind of go into that wardrobe of that. So
nice.
So I'm going to try to, maybe if it works out, you'll kind of see my looks over the years. I got my old cowboy hat back, so I'm going to try to, so you might see a little bit of all the eras. I thought that would be a cool way to do it. And just, I haven't done that in a while. So that's going to be new to a lot of people who are used to seeing me wear a mask for the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't even think I'm even going to do the mask stuff at all. And this is all just going to be beauty on duty.
I did see, I mean, if you are a member of your Patreon, you got to see a glimpse of what a set list kind of looked like, or just some songs you had jotted down. And I have to say, I wish there were a few more dark songs on the list.
Well, there are. That's not even the full list. Here's what happened, and I'll know this weekend. Like, there was a couple songs that aren't on there, like Serpent Society, I Love Watching You Die, and the reason a couple of the songs aren't on the list is we since the touring stopped and everything, as you know, we switched. Kyle left the band, so now we have a new drummer, Daniel. So when they were transferring the drum, like there's a couple of songs, we don't use track on everything, but a couple of songs like Serpent Society has that keyboard sound and the intro to it. Skeletons has the keyboard or the piano intro. Well, when we were transferring all those, we lost our tracks.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of waiting to see this weekend what those songs sound like without the tracks, because they're not that important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Decompose had a track on it with a keyboard. So
Yeah.
some of those darker songs are there and they will be on the list. We're just kind of waiting to see this weekend. But literally when I wrote that list out and I put it on the fan club page, I mean, that's just all I could fit on that page. There's still about 10 more songs. So I think overall, it's going to appeal to everybody, but there will be a dark section of the show. I always got to have that dark corner I pull everybody into.
Well,
So,
I
yeah, there will be-
what I meant by it is there's not enough songs that talk about death.
Yeah, I know. I really don't hit on that subject that much.
So who is going to be opening for these shows?
We are going out on our own. We didn't take a tour package this time. And we decided to, every time we tour, we do things a little different. We've taken bands out with us that have been amazing bands. And we've taken some bands out with us that haven't been amazing bands. And when it all comes down to it, in the new way of touring and gas prices sky high, it was more financially better for us to go out on our own and have local support. So we were able to get our money up higher. And then we worked. So the local bands, and we made it pretty, like clear to the promoters, like, look, you get 3 of your best local bands on this for our show. We're going to be promoting, and you're going to get more people having a local show than us bringing blah, blah, blah from Sweden that no one's ever heard of. You know what I mean? So and also we decided to sell our VIPs through the venues. So now you can buy a ticket and the VIP together instead of buying the ticket and then going to my website and getting all this information. So that's encouraged the promoters to promote the tour more because they make more money. And if their local bands don't promote the shows, then it's their fault and they can't get mad at us. So it's just it all around, it makes everybody work to their full potential. And I think so far, I mean, just looking at ticket sales and like meet and greets for the US have always been okay for me. Like I'll have 5 or 6 meet and greets a day. But like we have like, just like our first week, we have like 100 meet and greets in the first 4 shows. So like meet and greets, everything's going up. So maybe people missed us. They want to see us. They want to meet. They want to meet and greet us.
So, I mean, that's a good opportunity to tell people, what do they get when they get the meet and greet?
I try to make my meet and greets as cool as I can. And I don't want do unto others. You want it to, you know what I mean? You want to be treated the same way you'd be treated. So I've been around the bigger bands that have meet and greets where it's literally, all right, stand there, picture, how you doing, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But I know a lot of those bigger bands also have 300 people waiting in line to meet them, and they can't do that. I'm fortunate enough that I have a small group of people, and I try to talk to each of them. I come in with a good sense of humor, making everybody laugh, because a lot of people don't expect me to be. If you didn't know me, you didn't watch the Patreon stuff, you didn't watch that, you wouldn't know I'm a down to earth and funny guy. You might think I'm really this, let's go grave robbing.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm just glad to finally be getting back out there and do what we do, man. It's been way too long.
I think the cool thing is, like, people will come to you and they'll ask just these random questions you never thought they would ask you. I mean, you get some pretty cool questions I've seen on your meet and greets.
Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, I've never had anything like too outrageous. I mean, there's people like that come there. There's a couple in Texas that named their kid after me and Manson, and it's Winsland. So those are cool things. And just seeing people getting tattoos of everything from all the eras and stuff. So I mean, I've got a lot of diehard fans, but none of them really come in with any too crazy off the wall things, like I always say one of the weirdest things I ever seen happen at an in-store years ago. Like my first in-store was with Murder Dolls, and some girl came up with like a big jar with like a heart, like a human heart in it.
Wow.
And the heart inside of it had a picture of Joey and I stapled to it. Yeah, so that's the I always remember that because that was one of the first like what the fuck.
Yeah.
And then someone brought a mummified cat to one of my shows.
Wow.
Like, here, I thought you would like this, and I'm like, I'm a cat lover. Why would you bring me a like? Yeah. He just kind of like threw a mummified cat onto our merch table, so it wasn't like it wasn't displayed and go, oh, here you got you this. Just I got you this. So
just since we touched on it briefly, we all know that Kyle left the band, and
yes,
you got a new drummer. Is this a permanent thing or just a touring thing?
We don't really know because I never know when touring's ever going to be permanent anymore. Daniel's going to be drumming for us for our upcoming shows. I would like him to be a permanent dude in the band I know he's got other things he does. But as of right now, he's played on the new record. He's set for us to do this US run download, and we've got some other stuff later in the year. So I'm hoping so. He's a great dude. I've known him for years, but we really got to know him when we did our last tour. That whole year was touring with Dope and Static X, and he was basically hanging out with us more than he was hanging out with his band. So he gets our sense of humor. He's a great drummer, great showman. Like he's got got fucking acrobats behind me doing tricks and stuff. So very, very flashy, fun to watch. And he's been a big fan of the band too. So we're excited to get out there and try it with him. And Kyle and I are still really close friends, and Ramon and him still are roommates. Kyle just didn't want to play anymore. So if he returns to the game one day, he knows the door is open for him. He's still a close friend, and I say it all the time. He is without a doubt the best drummer I've ever played with, and it's just he's just flawless. He's the machine. And Jordison is amazing, and Kyle and him, like, I don't know how I've been so fortunate to play with these crazy, amazing drummers, and all I do is wear big hats and play 3-chord songs about fucking dead people. I've got a pretty cool life. I've conquered some good ground there.
You mentioned the new album, and now that you're on Napalm, your last album had quite a few not celebrity, but guest musicians on it. What about this one? I mean, you don't have to name them because I'm sure it's a big secret, but is this going to have some names on it?
No. I wanted, the idea on this record was, I mean, it was cool to have the guests on the last record. I love that because I wanted it set up like a movie. I wanted to feel like there was guests in the movie and just the whole vibe of it. This record, like I said, having the 2 years off, not being really inspired, by anything, it was really important for me to make this record as close with us as we could. That's why we recorded it all together ourselves. We did it here at our house. Ramon was able to come over. We were able to track. Jack, everybody came in. Troy did his parts. But instead of getting a producer or getting any outside input, I just wanted this to be all about us. I didn't need a producer coming in going, well, you guys should do this. I'm like, you know what? We're in a weird space of let us figure it out. We don't need we don't need someone else that doesn't know what the hell's going on to tell us what to do. So this record, I really wanted it to be just about us. I'm producing the record, and there's no outside guest. It's just us. And from my point of view, or how I hear this record, it's definitely closer to the Transylvania and Skeletons kind of vibe. It's just
Okay.
got, I don't know, it's still got a spooky horror fun vibe to it. It's got its dark moments, but overall, I think it's more of a rock record than like a Condolences album.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good to hear, because I mean, a lot of people, I mean, the last album was just it was a huge production, and it really flowed really cool, but some people like that stripped down, more just basic thing.
Yeah, and I like both of it. I
Yeah.
like both things, and I try to do both. But again, I always go back to, when I always think about what should I do, where could I go, where should be the next level of doing this. I always go. It's like an encyclopedia, a reference. I go to Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I always go to Alice Cooper because he has the longest history of doing pretty much kind of what I do, or I mean, I do what he does.
Yeah.
And he's went through every style. I mean, he went through the 70s, the hard rock, he went through the disco, he went through the new wave, he went through the hair metal,
Yep.
he went through, and he did the Brutal Planet, Dragontown, which was almost a Rob Zombie vibe, and then he went back and he was like, most people want to hear Alice do the garage rock, or
Mhm.
his hard rock stuff that he's always done, but he still incorporates all of that stuff. So I'm trying to get to that point where I want to do all of that. But I think what I do best is rock music, writing catchy rock songs. It's fun to dabble and do the metal stuff from here to there, but I think over time, a song like I Walk with a Zombie" is going to outlast "You Breathe, I Kill," the
Yeah.
fastest song, or heavy. You know what I mean? Like, I love
Yep.
that song, but what's more, Wednesday 13? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really thought about this record, and every song is like, you can almost compare every song on this new album to an older song that was like, there's one song that sounds like "From Here to the Hearse." I'm like, oh, that's in that vibe. And this one's
Nice.
like, "Look What the Bats Dragged In," and "I Want You Dead." I'm like, these are the vibes I'm getting. And if I feel that, I hope people feel the same way. And I think people would rather, over my just judging over the past 2 years, feeling the fans out, I think they want to hear more of that kind of sound. And I think they're going to be completely happy with this new record.
Well, I think kind of where that goes is, if you're on the Patreon page and you're a member,
Mhm.
you actually get to hear some of that. I remember.
I've been playing. I just played the whole record pretty much the other day.
Yeah.
On the, I have three different levels on the Instagram pages, but I've been showing the fans writing this, from the demos, from everything, how the songs have changed, how they went from this title to this title. And I've never been able to do anything like that. So that was so now the fans that have been watching this record come together for the past 6 months, they're like, this is my favorite record, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Because they're a part of it. So that's something I couldn't even imagine that I could, as a kid growing up, being a part of a Kiss record, listening to
Yeah.
Kiss demos, or listening to Motley Crue. Hey, we're going to share the first draft of "Shout at the Devil."
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like I'm giving to my fans. And so yeah, if you're a part of the fan club and join the Patreon, you get to hear all the good stuff. I still do all my stuff on the social medias. I still tell people what we're doing, but if you want to see behind the scenes, behind the hat, behind my cat,
Yeah.
uh, that's the place to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of where I was going. I wanted to plug your Patreon page because I love it. And I love the Wednesday chats. I mean, every Wednesday there's a chat and everybody gets to hear you talk for an hour or so.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, man. And I've really, the best reward of this entire thing is the fans writing me saying, thank you so much. I have a new best friend that I met through this fan club, and this and that. Like, they all meet up, they go out, people from other countries.
Yeah.
I've united a small group of people that are probably otherwise isolated, just the loners. and I've given them like a group. So there's times when, let's say I don't do a story on one Wednesday, they're not bummed out about it because they'll still get together and they'll have their chat. So
Yeah.
it's a really awesome thing that I created. It's beyond what I thought. And I keep telling the fans, you know, I'm still going to be doing all the fan club stuff as I'm on tour. So if you join this month, you're going to be seeing those live stories from the road. You're going to see makeup tutorials. You're going to see sound checks. You're going to get to see everything. So even if you're in another country and you don't get to go to this tour, join our Patreon and you'll be on tour with us.
You might even
every
get to
day.
see
So
Troy's ass.
definitely. What will I do to Troy on this tour?
Exactly.
We'll find out. Yeah.
So yeah, everybody, I want to encourage everybody to join the Patreon page, because for me, even, I love it. And I mean, I get to talk to you, but it's fun to just hear other people talk to you.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's you know, it's made me so much closer with my fans, you know. And a long time ago, even though I'm wearing this giant hat and sunglasses because it's super early here, I used to really have to like always feel like this had to be the look, you know. But on my stories, you see I'm hanging out, no makeup, you know, beanie on. I get to be myself. And that was something that was not as easy as you may think. I just kind of did it and went, you know, because I'm so used to being in this garb and this image all the time. But so that's been another cool thing. You get to see a side of me that you don't ever see on stage.
Yeah, which is cool, because I mean, we talk about Alice, and you know, both you and I are huge idols of Alice. I love Alice, and he says himself, I can't always be Alice, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like I said, I've learned so much from him, because it's, I mean, the same lifestyle, being in a touring band, but when you become that character and you can't get out of it, you stay in that. So it's like, I like to watch. You can watch Alice be on stage, do the whole thing. As soon as he's off, he's in tennis shoes, he's playing poker.
Yep.
He's not Alice anymore.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So yeah, that's something definitely that I like about the fan club, or just that I'm able to be myself. You know, there's a lot of artists that just would never ever show that side of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to be a goofball.
Well, Wednesday, I appreciate your time, and it was been amazing to talk to you. And I just want to encourage everybody to go see the 20 Years of Fear tour, because it's going to be fucking amazing.
I think so too. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you're going to get to see 5 dudes that haven't played shows in 2 years. Just you're going to see smiles on our face. So it's going to be a good time, and I'm excited. So get your tickets, get your VIPs, and if we're not coming to your town, drive to a town that we are playing in. Come on now.
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm saying. So people say,
well,
you're not coming to my. Yeah, they go, well, why aren't you coming here? I was like, we're driving from, like I said, our bus is coming from Indiana to California to pick us up so we can go straight back to the East Coast. And someone goes, man, you're like 20 minutes from my house. I can't get there. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing you, and everybody get your asses to the show, buy a VIP, get your picture taken with Wednesday, give him a heart with in a jar and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, bring me some G.I. Joe toys. Bring me some toys. 80s toys. I need more toys.
Yeah.
I need more toys.
Yeah. So we'll talk to you soon, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you, sir.